Call the meeting to order, please, if we can say the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. So we're gonna have our employee Brian give us his report.
So we had a few outages. Probably heard about 132 or I don't know if it comes through.
Yeah, yes.
Got that replaced. And then I've been at the golf course, did a pad mount transformer, Memorial Day.
What was that, Brian?
Did a pad mount transformer. Sits
At the
on
golf course?
Yeah.
knocked
Somebody
it
in a
off
golf
the
cart?
pad, Lowered, Don Moore, got the grass on fire.
Whoops.
Not today. We got plenty of water.
So, and then that's the most fun and exciting stuff with that. So, also came today and programmed a new recloser that should help somewhat on the outages. It'll cycle 3 times before it'll lock out instead of just locking out. That's just on Cropsville side. We didn't buy one for our side yet. So, got some signs coming for the parking on Main Street. They have the speed limit or big truck signs. Waiting on them to create a fine sign. I don't know why, but they had to do that.
Okay.
And Kieran from Aqua says we can possibly get on the water tower for our meeting.
That would be
So
wonderful.
we're gonna go there and then approach him on sharing the metering.
Yeah.
They won't give us, they probably can, or we
They
can.
will.
They will let us.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you said they probably.
Probably can. He's gotta get some legal stuff written up,
Okay.
which he didn't think. It's just gonna take time.
So will that just go up and go on the railing, or does it have to
Yeah.
get somehow go all the way on top?
Should go on the railing. It's 2 antennas, 10 feet apart. Cat 5 cable comes down, and then we'll power it from the ground. So, just getting it done. And I don't know, Troy, I helped him a couple times. We had both pumps down by the Fiddler's lift station plug Memorial weekend. And looked like pipes, towel, something fiberish was just locked them tight. Pulled them out. We took them apart. Just pulled that out. They were good to go. So, but there's grease, dirt, everything he's recommending. And I don't know if you want to mention that about getting them cleaned out.
Sure.
You want to do that?
Sure, no, you go ahead.
Get them all washed out, degreased. They said it's a once a year thing, normal on a normal
What it should
year.
be.
Normal
Once a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thought we'd do all of them when we did them, because they're gonna charge so much just to drive down here.
Sure.
And then the other thing was Houston Electric out of Lafayette, come and look at the generators, and they got a quote from Michelle that set up.
That I will give them
Okay.
now.
Set up a PM program. We've never really had one. We definitely need one.
Did Troy give you an idea of what the pressure washer would cost? Pressure washing
He
would
said
cost?
he would check. It's probably gonna be, I'd say $2,000 for all of them. I could be wrong, but don't hold me to that.
It's better than what I was thinking.
Don't be sure.
That's.
I know, it's a
Yeah,
guess.
you're
Right,
guessing.
right.
Now, does that have to be a company that's hazard certified, or could a Dutcher do it with his pump truck? I'm just asking because
I don't know. They probably could if they could hold it all. I don't know if they can degrease, pressure wash. I don't know. You might.
they might not be able to take it to where they take the rest of the stuff with that grease in it either.
Yeah.
Are you talking about cooking grease? You talking about? I mean, mainly cooking grease.
I don't know. It looks like.
It's
white.
not like mechanical.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. It's white,
Yeah, cooking grease.
globby.
Oil.
It's solidified, yeah. It's not like floating. I mean, it floats, but it's not like an oil sheet.
And maintenance and once a year doing that's probably going to save us some money in the long run on
I would think so.
Yeah.
Pump's not getting burned up.
The bottom of the pits, they get dirt, sludge. It's a
Always had it
6-foot round hole, pumps it, you know, it just basically set off bottom, but eventually it goes
Mm-hmm.
up.
Yep.
So you gotta get all that out.
I've been in a few of them helping Jason before.
Okay.
Not much fun.
Yeah.
So it's just a routine thing, wash them out. The floats, they hang down, they look like a pear,
Mm-hmm.
and then when they accumulate grease, and then they don't float right. So that's it. That's about it, unless y'all have anything.
Anybody have anything for Brian?
I think I asked you this last month, or is it last month before? Getting any farther on your new trailer yet?
It's ordered, it's like a October, November build, so. It was way out there, 7, 8 months.
So you're not gonna have it when you need it all summer.
No, we got Crawfordsville right now. We told them we'd keep it until they needed it. Right now, so, and we've been using it, so it sits out there. You can sell it sit out there, but that's what that is.
Anything else?
Is that it? Very good.
You good?
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
No.
No,
I
we're
don't
good.
think
Thank
so.
you very much.
When you get out the door, we'll pick us up.
All right.
Thanks, Brian.
We'll text
Have a
you
good
later.
evening.
Uh-huh.
All right,
Okay,
thanks.
thank you. Okay, so then we'll go up to approval of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes for May 1st,
I make a
2020?
motion, we approve the May meeting minutes. Sorry, I interrupted
You're
you.
okay.
I second that.
All
Aye.
in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Then we go down to money matters. So I have a motion to approve appropriations report, payroll docket, and revenue report.
I will make the motion to approve appropriations, payroll, and revenue.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
All opposed? And now it brings us down to new business, ordinance 1-2025, the truck route.
In your packet, I put all these ordinance, but we'll start with 1-2025.
I have to go grab some tissue.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
go right ahead. This is, you guys have already been down this with the attorney. This is just the ordinance that he has written up according to your specifications and the specifications allowed by law. When you see these and you see the lines through them, that means the lines, just a reminder, the lines through the ordinance means that what we had adopted before, we are marking that out because we are going to, amend it basically to the new guidelines and the new rules that we were wanting. So what you can do at this meeting is you can review it and then you will adopt it your next meeting. Because it's still, it's still under new business and it's their first reading of this ordinance, okay? So in July, we will adopt it. Mhm, yeah, so, but you can take that with you. You still, if there is something that you feel like, yes, we can make a provision to it if we need to.
Okay, we can do that in July.
We can, if you'll just let me know so I can let Tyler know.
Absolutely.
In case there's some kind of issue or we can't or whatever and we need to do another reading on it, okay? Or you think, oh, that just doesn't look quite right or something.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
all
so
right.
now we're at ordinance 2-2025 wastewater rates.
Okay, so same thing. Now this is just the first reading of this ordinance. This will appear in the paper before June 18th so that it can be the actual public hearing on this, because you have a public hearing, will be at the July meeting. Now, once that public hearing's done, which will be at the beginning of it, just about like right now at the July meeting, you can then adopt it down in when it's under old business. Again, this is just specified to what you guys chose as the new rates to be. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
And now we're on the ordinance 3-2025 redistrict election.
This is just a thing that we have to do according to the 2020 census. We just don't have any choice. So our districts don't change.
We
So
don't have any, do we now?
no, we never did. actually. We weren't ever sitting in any as a town. But we don't have any changes to it. So, okay. And all of those, again, will be adopted at the July. Yes. Yep.
All right. Now we're down to old business, HB 1233 and HB 1. Do you have any updates on that? Okay.
I do.
Okay.
I do a little bit. Not much. Just some things for you to think about, okay? I got to think from the DLGF today because what they're looking for counties to change the local option income tax or local income tax. And in 2007, when I was auditor, when it was adopted by the county, it was a 90-10 split. 90% went to your property taxes, 10% went to all other businesses, etc. Whatever the county, if they change it, and I do think they have to make some sort of change. I don't know what that'll be. This will be effective for 2026, 2027, 2028. It can change in 2027, 2028. Since that very first one that I'd done, they now have adopted public safety. So you no longer have that 90-10. I don't even know what the split is now, maybe 60-40 or 60-20. I don't know what it is right now, to be honest with you. I don't know what goes, I don't know that percentage. I should, but I don't. It can affect our general budget. And when I say our general, only our general budget. Not, has nothing to do with any of our utility budgets or anything like that. So with that said, if we have to do any cut, I don't know what it'll be. I don't think it'll be too extensive for us because we've never really did a huge raise on our general budget.
Mm-hmm.
We've shifted money and we have
Right.
police completely coming out of public safety, which helped. If this happens over here, that's going to help.
Mm-hmm.
The only area that you can really go after is Bob's, is his contract. And he knows this. We sat down and talked about it, to maybe him going to an hourly rate instead of contractual rate. But what that means is, and I don't know that this will mean this is your guys' call, that he can still do everything at the park, but he might have to drag, and maybe the coaches go back in line and do their own lining of the diamonds, line the diamonds or something, where you're pulling away what him and Leland do. I'm not saying that has, maybe you guys don't do the lease with the two coaches or, the program, and then they go back to that or something in that manner, okay, or whatever we want to do. But his is a contractual service that we can, unfortunately, it's one of because we took public safety out, we don't have a lot in general. You're not going to get that in office supply.
Right.
And even if it's only 10%, that's still, you're looking at $2,500, $3,000, $4,000, could be $10,000. So I won't know that until I see what the county does.
Okay.
Or if the county's going to do anything.
I think they're going to.
I think they're going to.
I just don't know what yet.
I don't think they have a choice. I
Right.
just don't know what percentage that will be for us.
Right.
Now, we are going to lose a little bit on our over 65 circuit breaker, but that's only like $436. But again, you're talking about a general budget that's around, $64,000. So I said something to Bob about, he's like, I'll do whatever needs to be done. I did look at mowing contract. We did do that. Oh my goodness gracious. We couldn't even touch a mowing contract. There's just no way. No way possible. So, he did, or I did. Josh had said, I talked to Josh Bernal and he was like, look, we have to do that. We have to do that. Yeah. So, I don't know. There's still a little bit of areas, a little bit of wiggle room there, and we'll just figure that out. But just something to keep in mind that could come down.
So I do have, and this is probably a subject to really dive into when we find out what we have to do. But I know last month it was brought up about the liability for the coaches doing the dragging.
That's why he would have to drag.
But I'm not. That's my question. And again, it's probably not something we need to get into now.
No,
but I don't know. I guess I don't understand where the liability. Honestly, I don't understand where the liability. I mean, I do, but at the same time, I don't really see it that it should be that big of an issue. I mean, for years we've owned the equipment and they've used it. So, like I said, I'm just bringing that up because that's a subject that I'm going to try to look into a little bit to see.
Yeah. And
not that I'm trying to take anything from Bob, but if we get in numbers crunch, if the coaches can do it or if we make it to where it's just Josh or just Melissa can run it and we save that money, if we get into a budget issue, then it makes sense to me to try to figure out how we can do that, whether it's put a rider, see how much a rider is on an insurance policy, or something to that nature.
You have less liability if Bob drags the diamonds, and it's our equipment. There's no doubt about it.
I agree with that.
Because
Excuse me.
you seen what the equipment looked like when he wasn't doing
Well,
it.
and I was getting ready to bring up,
And kids.
my concern would be, and I'm not trying to say people are not. My concern was be the use of the equipment and how they would treat it,
Yeah.
not as if it was their own. So my concern would be the breakdown of the equipment not being, treated correctly or properly.
Well,
Does that make sense?
yeah.
I mean,
paying for a writer would make no sense when you have somebody already there who's a town employee.
but I do
And
get.
you're cutting a budget.
I agree with you though, Jeremy. I don't know that we can get into the weeds yet until we actually really know.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I was bringing up that, like I said, I
Yeah.
feel like it's probably a next year before season starts when we really find
Right.
out what they pinch us for.
Right.
You know, what they take from
Well,
us.
we
and
have to do
where we're at.
26 budget this year, so we will have to visit it. So it's a good thing to bring up, because we have to approve this year's budget, or this year for next year.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
But the problem is, I don't know when the county's a little bit later doing theirs than what we are. That's gonna
They
be
did
the
that-
issue.
They did that last year.
They
did
pulled it
that
all the way to the
shit
end.
in December.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
What are you guys doing? So,
yeah. So I'm hoping that,
Right.
we get some, and maybe for 26, we don't have to do much. I'll know more when I meet with the BLGF rep, and it may be something we have to visit for 27, where the county's
Sure.
already made some sort of decision.
Okay.
So, and I get it. They're we're all looking for numbers that we're not
Right.
actually getting,
Right.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
So,
Any other questions on that for her? Okay. Community center update?
I do want to go back real quick.
Oh, I'm sorry. My
No,
apologies.
this has nothing to do with House Bill, but I just wrote it out to the side.
Okay.
I know last year you guys didn't do employee reviews. Are you not going to do them again? I don't think it matters. I just want to know, because I need to get it onto some sort of calendar before we start this whole budget, because the end of June I start budget process,
Right.
and it goes quick. So if I need to do some kind of set schedule, or let them know that you want some sort of set schedule, if I could have an idea on that, I would really appreciate it.
A set schedule.
I
As
have
in-
to
Like,
set
we'd
a
have to
schedule for 'em.
Yeah, for them to come in, and we'd have to, like, if we wanted to do an employee review.
I thought you were talking about just for the review,
Just for-
not for their
So,
not for their work day.
No.
or-
So Kevin knows if you're gonna do it,
Yeah.
he can set it, Brian and Jason can set it, and, yeah, I mean, I don't remember. You did Kevin, but you don't do all part-time, like, you don't do Phil, you didn't do Bob, you
No, we didn't
do,
do, yeah.
who
only
is
did full-time.
employee.
I thought you did the police department though.
We did. We did.
Okay,
each of the
they're
police
not full-time, but
department.
yeah, I did think you would did
But
them.
we did that, and then we went away from that, and because we went to the liaison
Mhm.
and relying on that,
Mhm.
which.
I just
I know,
didn't want to
as small as-
assume.
Right, as small as we are, I just don't know that.
I guess for me, it would be more of a question to Brian and Jason if they want to sit down in a private setting and bring anything up. To me, I mean, I haven't had any complaints about anything they're doing,
I
and
haven't
everything
either,
seems
and
to
I
be
don't have any. Yeah.
the wheel seems to be greased.
Yeah.
So I don't
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
don't know
they
why
should
we
come
would-
to their liaison if they did.
And I think they understand that and know. I mean, my understanding of it. I mean,
Yeah.
so I don't feel like we need to do the employee review.
Okay. I just
I'm
wanted to make sure, so
Unless anybody else.
Nope.
Okay.
thank you. I just didn't want it to sneak up, and
Right.
I didn't have time to do it, so.
Right. Okay. Now we're
Yes,
okay. Community center update.
okay. I have two,
I gave it to you.
Sure. I have two, bids that are in an envelope for
Okay.
painting.
For painting, you said.
For
Okay.
painting,
Okay.
yes. One is BK Painting and one is Margie Pierce. So I made them submit them in envelopes so that we don't know who's got what or what it is, but this is all I got. So
Okay.
that you can open those if you want to, or you can wait. I mean, we might as well.
We don't
You,
have that many. Yeah, we have to open them.
Open them, I think.
I feel like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's all
we
I
need
got.
to get an idea where we're going
We
to
really
be at.
do.
Yeah.
And I mean,
drum roll.
Okay,
That's-
so the first bid, do I say who it is and everything? Right.
yeah, you do. Yes,
Okay.
but let me.
Okay.
All right.
So it's from the painting pair,
Okay, I couldn't remember her name. Yeah.
and it says the total bid for that would be $5,000 for the total job.
Okay.
It's material and labor.
This says,
Yes.
yeah, 7 rooms, paint included, paint ceiling and walls. Okay. And then, that's the first one. Okay, and the second bid. I'm trying to find the.
It's BK painting.
BK
I knew
painting.
that.
Oh, it's up there. Okay.
Yeah.
BK painting, and it shows $4,255. And this includes all labor and materials using Behr paint and primer, eggshell finish. And it does have a list of kind of what they went through.
Okay, now you can take them under advisement. You can vote on which one you want. You can take the low. You don't have to take the lower bid, but I believe if you don't take the lower bid, you have to explain as to why you're not taking the lower bid.
I would
I don't know why.
I would
think
say
that's
take
what
it under
makes
advisement because I would like to reach out to Margie, or I shouldn't say that,
I know,
to
well, it
the
is.
painting pair and ask them what paint they're using, because that very well could be the difference. That could be the total
slight
difference.
yeah.
She might have Sherman-Williams or
Yeah.
he's using Behr, which there is a different pricing there, different price point. It's they both have their value, but
You just can't have them resubmit. Okay.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I just want to make
Yes,
sure.
no, not
basically we
not
just need more
resubmit.
info.
I want
Need more info.
because that would explain
Mhm.
if
The
she's
difference of
if she's using Sherman-Williams or the paint from
I absolutely
Ace,
agree.
Benjamin Moore. We have Benjamin Moore stores where I work, so I know it's more expensive. So
Absolutely.
that probably, as close as they are, that might be the total thing.
Right.
And honestly, Sherman-Williams is probably a little bit better paint than but that doesn't. I just think we need to find that out.
I agree. Anybody have any objection to that?
Do you want me to reach out to her and
That
ask?
would be awesome. I do not have her number.
And I'm zipping. I'm sorry. Like what we discussed. I know she-
That's a good thing to do because I didn't even thought about it.
Yeah.
I think she was going to find it. I feel like this.
Well, these walls are a little rough.
So
So,
you have,
yeah, I mean, they are. I got another one unless you want to go ahead.
go ahead.
Okay.
And I'll do mine
So, I don't know if you guys know Doug Dye or not, but Doug Dye is the person who did the doors out here. He refinished the doors. Okay. So, with this being a historical building, not everybody specializes in historical buildings. So, the estimate I got, I had him look at the estimate for all of the rooms, and I had Gary Cox look at the estimate for all the rooms. Doug Dye and Gary Cox came into the office, and they would like to do the project together if they're picked. And Gary would be under Doug doing it together because they both specialize in some of the things that this building needs to have done that we shouldn't be changing, such as these doors right here. These doors, we can put glass in the top of them. Well, one of them specializes in that, the other one doesn't. All right, or keeping the locks. Okay, those are just examples. I'm sure there's much more to here. So, I did reach out to another company in Indianapolis. They weren't interested. They just weren't interested in the building because they're like almost a year and a half out. That's one of the problems with contractors that is just your standard. I don't want to say standard. That's probably, a contractor who would do your home or whatever.
Your good specialty guys are busy.
They just are. They're like, I mean, I'm talking a year and a half to 2 years out. They're like, I'm just being honest.
Mm-hmm.
I only know of one in Crawfordsville, but I don't know if he still does it or not.
Yeah. So they broke this down. I didn't make copies of all this, but I'll share it with all of you. They broke down each project, each room. And the total for all of the rooms is $46,140. And I thought that was actually pretty reasonable, to be honest with you. I thought it would have been a lot more. But, and the reason I say that is because I tried to get a wall put in the, down here, just a wall, and it was like 10 grand.
And
10 grand. So, but this is very detailed. I mean, this is refinishing all down there where your counter room's going to be, all of those antique shelves that are up on the wall with that ladder. It's refinishing every one of those and taking that hardware off of each one of those and redoing it so they can use the hardware. It's a built-in it's the, we went with the safety route, so there'll be a counter going all the way across here and a door. So the only way anybody's going to get back to us is if we open the door.
Open the door, good. Okay.
Built-in desk, built-in cabinets. Same for Kevin, built-in desks, cabinets. Brian, Jason's the same thing. You guys will have like an octagon or semi-octagon. Yeah, where you'll have a shelf and then you'll have the things for your papers under there and then the things. But one of them is all that shelving or all of that room down there because it's got a lot of work that needs to be done. Now, again, you can just take this under advisement. I only have 2 copies of these, so you're welcome. I can scan them to you if you want to look at all the detail of it, but there's a lot of detail here. And it's all the doors. It's securing the doors. It's the locks on the doors. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I was surprised.
I would like to have a copy sent just to read through it.
Okay.
On email's fine or
Yeah.
however.
And if you want me to reach out to someone else that I picked like 3 random, that I was told, I'd be happy to do that. They could start as early as we get the other one up for sale, and they would finish by mid-October. They may not have your room completely done down there because of all the detail, but I said that wasn't as big of a deal as it because we could meet in the gym.
Sure.
Because they're gonna get these done that have to be functional.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they thought the whole entire thing would be at least finished by November 30th. That's what they were thinking. But if you, like I said, if you have getting people to call you back is like an act of God. Okay, so that's what I got for that, and I will email these out to you guys, so you can look at them, and then we can take it under advisement and do what we need to do for the next meeting.
I
Okay.
definitely think we need to read through it.
Yeah. Do you
I just have.
Here's that.
Yeah.
I gave you all canoes. No, I guess I gave you one in your stack, didn't I?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to read through it.
Absolutely.
I have some. I mean, I just have a few questions about it. About do we really need built-in? I'm not against it, but I feel like as trying to be responsible with the town's money, I feel like that. Do we really need built-in? Can we paint those shelves down there? Is that going to upset the Darlington forever instead of pulling them all down and refinish them to try to, if we get to a point?
With the historical though, you have to. It's kind of,
They're broken. That's one of the things you got to fix them. They're damaged. But yeah, I think it'll tell you that in here. But yeah, and I don't know, Jeremy. I don't know. I know with the courthouse, we had to keep the aesthetics as much
We're
as
going
Yeah,
through
and
it
if we
right
do,
now.
we could.
I'm not like I
I
said,
don't know.
I'm thinking more out loud once we get a budget together, if we have to do some pinching
Yeah.
to get
I have no idea.
down to where we need to be at, because we don't have a whole lot more money besides what we gain over there.
That's really all we have. So,
I was gonna say, that's what we're kind of banking on.
yep. So you want to talk about the heat?
I can do that.
Okay.
So I received, and thank you, Michelle, for making a
Oh, of course.
copy of that.
I should have
I
done
got it kind of late, and
Well, I got
didn't
these
have time
late
to
too, and
copy.
that's why I didn't. That's my
I've
fault.
got 3 numbers for the HVAC. There would basically be a mini split right outside this window here. Sorry. Right outside this window, and it would do Kevin's office, and it would have dual heads on it. One head would be in Kevin's office, another head would be in here. And then for the other side, our meeting room, one of them be underneath the first window, basically hooked to the side of the building. And it would do the meeting room and Brian and Jason's room. So that's what these numbers are. So Lonnie sent me a text. He can get me an official one, but he has complete installation of two-zone, 22 SEER mini split heat pumps, including line, feed, all miscellaneous materials, complete job. Cools to 122 degrees and heats all the way down to negative 22. His job total is $11,713.
And who is that?
Lonnie England.
Lonnie.
I want to say it's LBJ.
Yeah.
For his son. Yeah, LBJ.
Thank you.
Yeah, he does a little bit of everything. The next one I have is from Myers Heating and Cooling. He gave us two different quotes. One of them is an 18 SEER efficiency. He's basically has the same as far as quote mini split, 4 rooms, 18,000 BT for meeting and clerks, 9,000 unit for lineman and sheriff, 24,000 BTU outdoor control, wiring, drains, mounting, job complete basically. He has it noted here, and I know that's Lonnie. He didn't note it, but noted here, 240 volt wiring to unit is not included, which we already knew that. Brian, Jason will have to get the power to where they want it. So for the 4 system, 18 SEER, it's $13,200, and for the 13 system, 23 SEER efficiency is $14,300. And then our last one that I received is from Nuth Heating and Cooling. Jeff Nuth. Nuth installed 2 outdoor mini split units to be paired with a total of 4 indoor heads, 2 indoor heads per outdoor unit. They'll install line sets, control wiring, brackets for units, job complete. And his total is $8,630.
It's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Is that?
Well,
That's
it
what my
is, but I need to, again, advisement. I didn't get this in time to
Sure.
call and ask questions, because I need
Yeah.
to know, is he 22 SEER, is he 18 SEER, is he,
True.
and I do know that, he does live in town, so I don't, I personally know all 3, and all 3 of them are trustworthy, good, reputable companies. So, but I would like to get some, with that discrepancy, I would definitely like to get a hold of Mr. Nuth and ask some questions and verify some stuff to make sure that number is. When I talked to all 3 of them, I told them all 3 the exact same thing. So I feel like it's probably apples to apples, but I want to verify with him to make sure to get a little bit more detailed, a little more detail on it. If everybody doesn't have a problem with that.
Yeah, and these are very detailed what they did. Each room. Yeah. This is down to each room, so that way you can pick that up too. So.
Okay. All right, thank you, guys.
I will get a copy of. I will print out at work tomorrow and email you Lonnie's quote he sent me, because he sent it on email. So
and I can just send it to everybody else if you want me to.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can forward. It's just on an email. It's nothing real official.
Okay.
Or it's just on a text message. I can forward it to these guys if they would like it.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you have questions, like you guys have questions on this with them, I have both of their numbers if you want to contact them and call them. Okay.
On that same, well, I guess does anybody have any more questions about the deal here for me or anything like that?
And we can't get electric. We couldn't get electric until we had we didn't know what we were.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
right,
So
right.
basically-
Understandable.
Okay, because that was my next question.
Oh,
Is
sorry.
Brian? It's all right. That was my next question. Is Brian gave you any idea yet where he's at?
He hasn't, because he was gonna see what we were going with the HVAC, which, what.
So I'll text him
Yeah.
tonight and tell him that basically they need 240 to each
Yes,
outside each
correct.
underneath each window, or that's what he needs. But then obviously when we get right down to it, we pick people. Then we'll tell whoever we pick go meet or
Yes.
have Brian and them meet, and they can go over everything that's needed.
Yes,
But
perfect.
we need kind of, obviously we're going to have an idea from Brian on a
Oh, yeah.
little bit of an idea, because right now if we did everything
Yeah. I
and
know
we
it's
went
up there.
with if we went with the lower bids, we're in pretty good shape. And what else needs to be? But what else are we missing?
Well,
There's going to be some incidentals,
Yeah.
so we don't want to be right at our
No.
right at the top of our
Yeah.
budget.
Well, we gotta have an outdoor set box and cement for that. We've got flooring,
Yeah, what kind of
because we don't have anything for flooring yet. And we have also, so the box outside, the flooring, and AT&T is just by how long it takes them to get us to each room.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't get an estimate on that. It'll be, they'll come in.
Well, I can get, obviously, if I can legally do it, I can get us a quote or at least an estimate, as long as I know what we want for sure. Do we want LVP in here and LVP down there? Laminated vinyl plank.
Okay, yeah, sure. If you think that's probably the best
Well,
clean, I don't.
I know
I
you don't
wouldn't
want
think
you don't want carpet.
No, I wouldn't.
Right.
I don't want carpet.
So
It's
that's
horrible.
the most resilient.
Sure.
It's the most resilient. They have commercial grade stuff that's got a 20 and 22 millimeter wear layer on it, which that's the protective coating on it. I just measure these rooms tonight, and we can. Flooring is obviously it's somewhere around $3.50 to $4 square foot. I can find that's not installed, but material wise, I can find we
Okay.
have many options
Okay.
for around that price. But I'll measure these two rooms when we're done, and I can have a roundabout.
Yeah.
At least to give us an idea, and then
Right.
if we figure we're going to go forward, I will bring somebody, or we can call Zons, we can call whoever, but
Okay.
I will step out of the way and get a representative from
That would be great.
ICC to
Okay.
come and do all the official stuff that
That
I'm
would
not
be great.
involved with it.
Yep. That would be perfect.
And I probably then wouldn't vote on it.
Yeah.
I
Right.
would keep my
Right.
mouth closed.
Absolutely.
at the
You'll
time.
abstain. She'll
Yeah.
abstain if we
Yep.
get, or you can abstain from that one. But,
I'll
yeah.
get that taken care of.
Okay. But that's all I can think of that we would.
That's in the air, like needing to kind of.
Yeah. Like the outdoor sign, we don't have to have. It was just some of those. Yeah.
Right.
But if we, I can't think of anything else that was.
What about the outdoor drop box?
Yeah, she mentioned.
I
That
don't
was on
really. I know. I'm not really sure where to start with that one.
Okay.
I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna contact. Like Uline. Uline has some business things, and I'm gonna see what they have in line. I don't know. I haven't got that far yet, but
Do like kind of like a mailbox.
yeah.
We used to have
I'd like it to be
We used to have one out
where they could drive up and put it
out
in.
like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, they'd obviously be driving to the wrong side of the road,
But
but that was my thought process.
I never
Not
even
if they
thought
come
about
up,
just
not if you come up this parking spot right here and
I
just
just
drop it at
never,
the end
I
of the
never,
ramp.
I never even thought about a mailbox
mailbox.
type of, not a mailbox, but
Like
the
you have
big
at the
one.
post
Yeah.
office.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just have so many people drop payments in that, and I
Security
hate for
box.
them to not be able
I
to
do
do
too,
that,
yeah.
and I don't wanna, your aunt thought I was going to cut a hole in the door. And be like,
No.
I go, oh, no, I'm not cutting a hole in the door, I promise you, and she's like, oh, okay, so, I was just looking for one, that we can go and unlock and
right.
grab the payments, but I thought it'd be great if they could drive up and put them in there, especially in the wintertime and stuff, we do have the ADA ramp, which is
Oh yeah, I
awesome,
think the
but
drive
still.
up would be best.
Yeah.
Just get like
Yeah.
a secured locked
Yeah,
mailbox.
like you said, they can just drive up and boom, put it in
Yeah.
or whatever, so, but I thought maybe Uline, I don't know, I'll Google and see what I can find out, that's not gonna have to take any estimates of, cause I think that we can install it, like as far as putting it in and holding it down, so.
Years ago, we had one over there and it worked
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
and
you
then,
did?
and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden we put it inside the fire
Well, that when they
station.
pulled off the front of the fire station.
Yeah.
We had it put in the
Yeah.
wall.
Okay.
But
well, good.
the outside really,
Yeah.
they loved it. People liked
Yeah,
it.
because they
Yeah.
could just walk up there and put
It
it in
makes
while they
sense.
were out for their evening walk.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. That's great. That's good news to hear. Do you think of anything else, Jeremy, that we haven't covered? I can't either. Are you guys?
No.
I don't think so either.
Furniture.
Well,
Chairs.
well, we can bring our chairs
kind of
that
stuff,
we
yeah,
have, and
okay.
we just need the desk.
That's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, I mean, we should. Everybody has a decent chair. I
Right.
don't know why they didn't bring those, and
Okay.
cabinets are still coming over, and yeah, we're not doing like new filing cabinets for them.
Okay.
That we all have what we need for that.
That's all I can think of.
Yeah.
So.
So we need to try to get a number for the outside box, floors.
Yep.
Try to get some kind of idea, maybe,
For electric.
even if Bob can tell us what he thinks approximate to give us.
Well,
Because I know that number's gonna float a little bit,
Yeah,
no matter
because
what.
they just charge by hour.
We've got
So,
to have surely they can give us some kind of idea, though.
and the thing about that, that touches all of our funds, not just, well, I mean, obviously we have to take that, but that's electric, that's wastewater, because we have to deal
Yeah.
with every single thing. So that's communication. So that isn't necessarily,
Doesn't all have to come out of the general.
it does not have to come out of that at all, or even them, because we have to move it. So the same thing with the phone. Well, I can't get a different phone line because AT&T or any of it, they don't have. I have to just stick with what I have because they don't do small business, with that anymore.
Right.
But it works and it's fine. So,
Yeah.
but
And
yeah,
then the number from Brian.
we need the
That's
number
the
from
four
Brian.
things.
That's probably
the
going to
four
be
things we need.
that and the floor would probably be the two bigger numbers we need to decide if we
Floors
can go
won't be
forward. So
Floors won't be that bad
Yeah.
in the big scheme of things.
I think the rest of it, unless you guys, like I said, want me to try to find someone else to
No, and
Or-
if things go
throw me a name or something.
I
things
don't
go
know.
well, maybe we can get chairs for our.
I have no idea who. I have no idea
Oh yeah,
who
we
to
can
call.
definitely
Who
do
to
that.
call
Yeah,
that
we can definitely get you better chairs.
would
Yeah.
be willing to
No, I can
refinish
do it.
these doors. And
Yeah.
I have no clue who else. it would
Well,
be.
and I did, like I asked Charlie Lewis, and he's like, that's just too big for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he-
And Doug, he has a cabinet making
Star Trek.
company, like he has workers that custom make those cabinets in a place.
That's what he.
The way I
used to do.
understood
He
that.
used to do high end
Okay,
built-in kitchens and that's what he made
boy,
a
it
living
is all
doing
high
in
end,
Carmel.
that is for sure, but.
Anybody have anything else on that?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, great.
So now do we have anything that we need to address from the attorney?
No, I think we're
Okay.
covering it as we go.
And then wastewater.
Okay.
Uh,
You go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say I will reach out to Troy and see if he can get me a somewhat closer number for that power washing.
Oh, yeah.
Some kind of number,
Oh, okay, yeah.
like at least an estimate to give us an idea of where we're gonna be at.
So the thing that Brian was talking about, the PM generators. So I don't know in the past if, I can tell you since I've come here that I don't think Troy and Mike had this, but, and I don't know what has to do with it, honestly. So, but we've got these generators, okay, and what they're looking for is a service agreement where Hudson's Generators does maintenance. Now this won't include the cost of materials if something's wrong with the generators, all right? We know this one out here is less than a year old.
Yeah.
But what they do is they service them so that, like when Brian we've had a couple that we've had 2 homes that have had some backup. So if the generators are serviced and they kick on, now this didn't get back into their house, but let's say that they weren't maintenance, they didn't have the maintenance or they didn't check on them, that would have backed up into their home. So having this agreement is important that they keep these generators serviced the whole entire time. Now, I've got this for each generator, and each generator will cost $800 a year. And that is inspections, major maintenance and test operations. And it says 1 per year plus parts, 1 per year plus parts. So this does say plus parts, but this says it doesn't include the cost of materials. I don't know what the difference of that is. It might be something where Troy can.
One per year plus, what's the exact wording again?
It says minor inspections and test operations charge frequency 1 per year. And then major
For
maintenance and
each.
test operation charge frequency 1 per year for each
For each
generator that we have.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So they're just gonna inspect them once a year, and then that,
Maintenance.
and the parts and labor, if they have to do a bunch of work, will be on top of that.
Correct. Correct. But,
I mean, I
Brian
think
and
this
Troy
is a
said it's
smart.
very important to have.
Well, yeah, and I think it's a smart move because if you recall, when we started this, we had a burned up unit and we had no idea.
Yeah, for years.
Yeah, I don't even know how long it could have been before I was even on the board. I mean, so it just makes sense to me to
Yes.
be proactive with this kind of thing. So we
Well, in the long run, it'll save you money.
exactly.
Yep.
Make the generators last longer. It's
Right.
Yep.
a big to do if something does back up in the homeowners.
Yeah, and I mean, they
Exactly.
perform it. I mean, they have,
Right.
it's all of this. I mean, their testing is, it's.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
long.
years ago, we did have the sewer back up where Endicott's were, and it was not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah,
So we need to make a
Well,
motion.
yes,
Okay.
please.
Do I have a motion to approve the Hudson
Generators.
generators to do yearly maintenance on the generators?
I make a motion, we
3 generators? Okay.
make a motion, we approve that.
Do I have a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Excuse me.
Aye. All
Aye.
opposed?
And then this is gonna take just your signature when we
Oh,
get
okay,
that,
is it
okay?
this one here? that you
There'll
want
be
me to-
3 of them.
3 of them?
Uh-huh. And you're just gonna print your name and sign your name.
Okay.
At the top.
We're all getting.
Mine's allergy.
I'm out.
You're in the wrong spot.
I'm out.
Mine's allergy.
I
You
wanna
can't
change
catch
spots.
mine. You can't catch allergies.
Michelle doesn't want it. She's getting ready to go on vacation, so y'all stay down there.
Not fair.
Well, I'm not going anywhere, but still.
I know.
Yeah, you don't want to be sick on your vacation.
I don't.
We can go.
You can go ahead. I'll send these off tomorrow. And they bill it, they bill you half each 6 months, so that's kind of nice too. You don't have to pay for it all at once. I thought that was nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, like, I thought that was pretty good, so.
Okay. Anything else on?
Wastewater? I don't, do you, Darren?
I do not. I'll send Troy that text. I was gonna send it right now. I keep forgetting you don't get no service.
Huh?
I was gonna send Troy the text asking him about that now. I'll send that as soon as we're done.
Okay.
Get a quote on what that's
Okay.
looking like.
Okay, anybody else have anything for that?
No.
Okay, town marshal report, you saw the email.
Yep.
Yep.
Anything that I need to bring to their attention? Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Might as well talk about it while we're there, right? We have had, and I mean, Teresa will weigh in on this too, because I know she's had some issues too, but we had this actually come up again. And then Brian, I meant to say something when he was here, and I've kind of touched base with Kevin. So we have an ordinance for alley parking. We, and I pulled it, and it says no person shall park in any vehicle in any alley except for the purpose of loading or unloading the vehicle, and in that case, not to exceed a continuance of 30 minutes.
Okay.
Then it says see penalty 70.99 where they can be fined if they don't move, or the town marshal can have them towed.
Okay.
Yes. So, Brian, and Jason have had this problem. When they get called out, they just had this happen. The alley had a trailer. They had to come up to the trailer. They were able to get the power back on, and they were able to do what they needed to do. It was over by you, but not without trying to make arrangements and get above and get over and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Now that could have been there for years. I don't know. Who knows? It's not just that person, but Brian and Jason talked about maybe or Brian mostly. I guess I actually could talk to, and I talked to Kevin. Maybe Kevin and Shelby when they're out patrolling the alleys and seeing, and then, hey, write it down. They may not know exactly whose it is or which house it is or where it is or whatever. And rather than set them door to door, they can put, hey, it's between, Adams and Douglas or here's or whatever, and we could probably give them some kind of idea, or they can pull up the map. Yeah. But, and then we can make up a notice and say, you guys, this is up to you. I'm saying, you got 5 days to move your stuff or whatever is going to be towed. I mean, we clearly have an ordinance in play. And the attorney today, I talked to him and he's like, this just needs to be put into effect. Yeah. And it's not a code enforcement thing. It's more of a police.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. So, I didn't figure like anybody would think that, but I just wanted to make sure.
Right.
But the problem is, like Brian said, we're going to be like we're going to be out in the middle of the night. We don't have time to figure out who's blocking the alley or who has stuff. So if, we
need to be proactive.
We can't build stuff in the alley. We have stuff that's, hanging over. It's a lot. And even though you think the alley's not in use, it is.
Yes.
It is an alley and it can't be blocked.
Right.
So you might reach out to Kevin. We talked about it a little bit, but I told him I would bring it up tonight.
Okay.
See what his thoughts are. If he just, I could make up the form that if he gives us the addresses, much like when Mike gave us the addresses, and say, attach these. What I want from you guys is how many days do you want to give them to, I just think it would take long, but I don't know.
24 hours.
Okay, and I'm okay with
I
whatever.
say that because what if there is an emergency? What if we have an active fire or we've got an outage, our electric guys need to get in there? I think 24 hours is a reasonable time limit to give someone, unless anyone objects.
Well, that's part out right, because, like you say, they need the access to get down through there.
That's my concern is.
And, one of the things is our line trucks in the alleys, there just is enough room. They're old alleys and barely enough room.
Barely.
I know, so they don't want to be responsible for, so.
Is that something we need to update?
On here?
Yeah.
We very much can.
I don't know.
He said we could if we wanted to. We could update the ordinance. There is a fine of, which is really, the fine says no amount less than $10, no more than $50 plus the cost of enforcement of the violation. If they decide not to move it, but he's like, we could do that, but we can just enforce it and see what happens for a while.
Yeah.
And then if we're running into issues of people not doing it, then we may have to amend it and get a little bit busier with it, I guess. But I feel like people would be very much compliant for that. I think so. So because I don't think they're going to want it impounded or towed. If it's,
right.
Yeah, I would think. But so just need a motion for the hours, and then since you're the liaison.
I'll reach out.
Okay.
Give them 24. Does everybody agree with that?
24
I guess. Do we have a motion to approve the giving a notice of 24 hours for our police department to patrol our alleys in reference to the removal of anything blocking the alleyway?
I make that motion that we give 24 hours notice for somebody to remove their items from the alley and to have the police patrol the alleys to see where the problems are.
I second.
I second. You second it?
Second.
Okay. Let her second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Yeah, I will do that. I will ask that they start.
They're just, they can't hardly get the trucks down through.
All right.
Our house is in Mary's house.
Okay.
Okay, anything else for Town Marshal?
Nope.
Okay. Park?
Bob had an update on the basketball goal. It's kind of been, he did get the free installment and the free delivery and all that, but it's been kind of a conundrum getting that old one out of there.
Oh.
So, he asked, Ryan went up there, they thought they could get it out with the boom, and that didn't work because it's in there. And so he might have to get a cement saw install around it because they will only install into a blank hole, obviously. But then, Brian was gonna reach out to Connor, and Jeremy said he would too. He's gonna get with Bob
Okay.
since he's liaison and see what exactly we need to
Perfect.
break it up and get it done and get it out of there. But the new one he has, like I said, I told you all about how it's
Yeah.
we were gonna use the other pole on the outside, but it's just not. Yeah, it isn't gonna work either. So it's just too old. So he wanted me to update you on that.
Okay.
I think that's all I had. Unless you guys got something for you.
Yes, I noticed this last night, and I've been up there a couple times watching, baseball, that there's a dead tree. And out, I don't know if anybody's brought that up, a dead tree, it's like where the small diamonds are, or for the little kids here, but it's, I mean, there's power lines and there's also fencing you have to watch, but that tree, somebody's afraid that might,
Okay, I'm sorry, that is the other thing.
Okay.
He was gonna come, but he just got here back today. He got one estimate, he's waiting on 2 more.
Okay.
There's actually 3 that have to come down.
Okay.
By no choice, we are gonna
I don't
have
think
to
we have
find
an
the
option.
money.
Yeah, I
We
don't
don't.
think we have an option.
We don't, actually,
With safety.
there's
right?
3 that have to come down by the ball diamonds, but that big one over by the playground, by his maintenance, that's gonna have to come too. The first estimate he got, I don't know, I wanna say it was around 4, but, or 3,400 or something. But he's getting 2 more people to come up and give them to.
Okay.
Yeah, we are aware that
Okay.
they are. It's just taking a little bit for them to, the next one I think is coming on Monday.
Okay.
The one by the playground, I think he might see if it can be topped, but Wilcox said eventually that thing's gonna have to come down. And that's the one, those concern him over there. That one really concerns him over by the playground because it's so big and it's by the monkey
Right.
bars.
Right.
They all concern him obviously, but he is
Yes.
working on that, and I'll probably have all 3 of those by
Okay.
July.
Okay, great.
Now, if it's in his room to get them paid for, we can take them out of his line item and get them going.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna have enough money to do all that. But
Right.
if he can, I'll let you know
Okay.
so that we can get them taken care of. I'm sorry. I'm glad you brought that up because
Well-
that was the other. I was like, I know there's something else.
All of a sudden, everybody started talking about that tree. Like,
Oh yeah, they're bad.
sitting there, I thought, well, I haven't noticed that the last ball game, so boy, but it's
They're decorative maples. And
Oh, it- I mean, it's dead, no leaf, it's bad.
They got hit with, they've been hit. So thank you.
Anything else for the park? Okay, code enforcement?
I've not heard from Mike.
I don't think I have any other-
Okay. Now to you. Clerk Treasurer.
Got a little bit of stuff right here. You have your billing, your clerk, utility board, or utility billing clerk report. 2 in, 2 out. We did disconnect 10 meters for non-payment, but they're all back in. And we have $1,630.45 in penalties. Is there anything that you would like on the July billing message? That you can think of?
Don't blow your grass in the street.
We have been putting that out
I
there.
know,
It's
nobody
bad this
reads it.
year.
Nobody reads
Don't
it.
It's
understand that.
really bad this year. I know.
Make sure you're aware of the fireworks ordinance.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's just wasting ink.
Yeah.
I can't say.
Well, and the problem with the billing message, it goes out to
So,
everybody.
yeah.
But I'll get that on the website
Maybe on the website if you
and
like.
our newsletter. Is that what?
That'd be good.
That way people will see
Maybe
it.
they can see it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to.
No, that's a great one because I did.
Yeah, I think they might this year.
Yeah.
We sat
Yeah, they will see
sat
that.
on our-
We'll try to get it on there
It's just
too.
like being at
Well, at least we did say we tried.
Yes, right. That's right. Yeah. I'd like to have a motion in a
You can
second
do it. You just
for Mike Smith's mileage for the month of May. It was $18.21.
I make a motion that we will pay for the
I'll
fuel.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
That would leave me out of that.
Okay. Joe Ellis, who is the Veteran Service Officer for Montgomery County, he emailed and he said, I'd like to give you for free. He wants to place one in all the towns in Montgomery County. And it is a bench. It says you're not alone. Get connected for the suicide and crisis.
Oh, how nice.
One, we need to figure out where we're going to put this, which I think is great. But
Yes.
we want it to be where,
Yeah.
somebody sees it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So I thought it was nice too, but I told him I would present it to you guys and then you tell me where you would like for it to go. I know, that's the
hard part. Approving it's not
I
the
mean,
hard part.
really, there's only a couple places for it to go. Would be in front of the town hall right now somewhere, as far as just where it wouldn't get messed with, and then down along from Palmer's, Bolanders, and the bank.
Yeah.
You know?
I thought in
Any
front of
room
us
here?
would be a good idea too.
Do we have any room here or no?
If we move over here,
Yeah.
I think it'd be neat to have it over here too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought the same thing. I thought maybe nobody would
Or even
mess
at
with
the
it.
park, but I'm afraid it would get tore up at the park.
I'm afraid of the park, yeah. So
I don't know. I mean, he doesn't have any problems, but I thought about that too. But I figured they'd want it on the downtown area or
Yeah, I think-
our town hall area.
Yes.
Like that. Yeah, I'm assuming. I don't know. I almost thought that I was going to ask Mike, like in front of the fire department somewhere, because they've got the opioid box.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
That, or Bart might let us put it out on the
Yeah,
corner
like
there,
where
maybe.
that emergency.
I'd say we definitely would take it, and we'll figure out where to put it.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so
Oh,
let's,
yeah.
do we need
Yeah.
a motion?
That's neat.
Let's make a motion.
Okay.
I don't know if we need one. He has given it to us, but I think it's so nice.
I will make a motion to accept Mr. Ellis's generosity for the bench,
Okay,
and the town will figure out where to put it.
absolutely.
I'll second.
Oh, that's
All in
neat.
favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
I thought that was
21,
pretty cool.
21 a day.
Michelle,
It's
is
too
that made by veterans or?
Yes.
Did you say? That's
Yes.
what I say to you.
That's awesome.
Isn't that just awesome?
Yeah,
I know it.
It's
I know.
great. I
Makes
love
my
to
heart
support the vets.
21 a day.
21 too many.
Yeah. There never should be one. I would entertain a motion for the tracking factor for July, August, and September. All rates decrease 0.000622 per kilowatt hour.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the tracking factor for July, August, and September?
I make that motion.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The clock stopped again, didn't it?
Isn't that a good sign? Okay.
Oh,
I never know what time it is.
Oh,
That's
that's all for you?
That's all I got.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna be on vacation next week. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
no. Who approved that?
Yeah.
Nope, I did not.
I didn't
I'm
approve
just gonna be at home. And I do have to take I have class every Wednesday now until July with all of the legislative change, so.
that. That's not a vacation, man.
Well, it's gonna be every Wednesday, so, yeah. But yesterday was in person, the rest are online, so. All right.
Okay, Marilyn, do you have anything for us?
No, I don't.
Okay.
All I can say is I'm sorry I wasn't here last meeting, but I really was under the
No,
weather.
we're
Hey,
glad you
just
didn't
make
share.
sure you don't sign the council.
Yeah, I know, I can't, that's the only thing, right?
Yes,
do not
yes,
sign.
ma'am, yes.
Teresa,
No.
Jennifer,
I do.
all right.
Can I ask for a donation for the festival, or do I need to have Sydney come in and do that?
Probably need to have Sydney come in,
Okay.
but, I'm not sure what you guys have. But I'll look that up.
Okay.
I just don't remember. You need to have Sydney come in and ask them for permission to use the
Yep.
place for the pageant too. I did
Yep.
text her that.
Yep.
So I think it was-
When is that?
September 5th and 6th.
I'm trying.
I'm on
Oh, here it
vacation that weekend.
Confession.
I'm on vacation that weekend.
Well, good thing you took back. I am doing
I'm not on vacation.
everything's pretty much, we're good to go on everything, just because it's just redoing everything from last year, but this year, it's hard to get people on board to volunteer to want to do things for the kids, like run things. So I'm gonna the free afternoon for the kids worked great, and I'm gonna do it this year. But we got something a little special this year. I have a princess and a Spider-Man coming to do like a meet and greet. So each kid will get their picture taken
how cool.
with one of the characters and get to talk to them and all that kind of stuff. And then if it's not going to be cold, we are going to do the foam party because that was a hit. That was a hit last year. And then I'm going to have an ice cream truck come in this year because Darlington just switched hands, and that's why I was supposed to get everything donated last year, and I had to pay almost $200 for ice cream for the kids last year out of my pocket. So I'm not doing that this year. So I am going to just have a truck come in and we'll pay for the kids to have ice cream. So
Awesome.
So we're just going to keep it at a free afternoon. It worked better. Then nobody has to sit here the whole weekend and worry about all of that.
Jeremy.
I have two things real quick. One, what is the address here?
105 South Franklin Street.
Oh, I didn't realize that was it. Okay. And then my second thing is I've had a lot of people say that they really are impressed with the new website and that they feel like it's going to be helpful. So that's
Good.
a
Good to
bonus.
know.
That's awesome.
Still, I'm working on it.
Right.
Yeah, still working on it, but it does have a good look and it is easier to navigate. And
Nice.
thank you though for mentioning that.
Okay, I don't have anything. No public comments. Our next meeting will be July 3rd, 5 p.m. And do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
I know.